Are you trying to learn hop 360s, but unfortunately your hop 360s look like this instead of this? This is a reality that a lot of people face when they're learning 360s. Getting a nice, clean, tucked up 360, hop 360 is very hard. It takes a lot of practice, and here are some tips that I wanted to share with you to stop tire tapping. And once you learn how to stop tire tapping, your 360s are going to be beautiful and you're going to have the cleanest hop 3s out of any of your friends. Okay, so the first tip to stop tire tapping with your hop 360s is going to be to get that initiation right. In the members only How to 360 video, we talk about the carve and getting everything compressed. And this is a really important thing that you need to understand if you're going to be doing nice, clean hop 360s. The way you get into it sets yourself up for failure or success depending on how you start doing the 360. If you start doing the 360 without compressing, you're going to have a hard time getting enough height, and ultimately you're not going to get that full rotation around, so you're going to put your back tire down as a safety net. So tip number one is being able to initiate that 360 properly with the right amount of compression, with the right amount of carve, and the right amount of form. If you're unsure what the right amount of any of that is, you're going to want to head to the members only group and ask Nick and I personally so we can help you out with that. But essentially a good rule of thumb is the more compression, the more carve, the better. But sometimes you can do way too much carve and this is not going to work out very good. The second tip is ultimately one of the most important things and one of the biggest mistakes that I see people do when they're doing hop 360s. They do the 360, they compress, they spin, everything's looking good, but their head is turned the wrong way, if it's turned at all. And this is a very important thing. There's this video here, we talk about what changed 360s for me and how I was able to master 360s, and the biggest thing for me was the head. Someone told me a story, it made me turn my head, and the 360s came around naturally. When you're doing hop 360s, it's really hard to get that momentum around and get that full spin if your head is looking forward. Like, think about this, just standing here or sitting here, if I turn my body and not my head, like right here I start to feel some resistance. If I turn my head and then my body, it's going to naturally spin around a lot easier. And so think about doing that. You know, if you're trying hop 360s and you're turning your head the wrong way, it's miraculous to me that you're even getting past 180 if you're not turning your head. And so once you guys do that, when you start to turn your head, you're going to notice, wow, this 360 is coming around a lot easier. And ultimately, the whole thing to stop the tire tap is to get the 360 around sooner. Most people do like a 180 or a 270, land back tire heavy and finish the rotation out on the tire. And if you can get that full rotation where you're landing a full 360 before you get both tires on the ground, you're not going to need to tire tap, and it's going to change the way you 360 and you're going to eliminate the tire tap forever. So make sure you're initiating the 360 right. Make sure you're turning your head. And then tip number 3 is going to be sucking your knees up. When you do this 360, if your knees are straight, your bike is going to be angled like this. And if your knees are sucked up, your bike is going to be level like this. And so it's a no-brainer. If everything else is working right, if you're still landing tire tap, you need to suck up your knees so your bike's level. Having your bike nice and level is going to buy you more time to get that full rotation around and land a nice clean 360 without any tire taps. So the 360 is ultimately a hard trick, and I think a lot of people try to learn 360s before they're actually ready for it. I think you need to have 180s mastered pretty good and have a very solid bunny hop before trying hop 360s. If you can barely 180 and you can barely bunny hop, these tips aren't going to help you out. These tips are only going to help you out if you're ready to move on to the 360, and it's hard to know if you're ready or not. So if you want access to exclusive videos and personalized coaching from me, click the link in the description and become a Bike School member. It's a low monthly fee, and I can help you take wherever you're at right now to having the most perfect 360s you've ever done. Click that link. We'll see you guys in the next video.